Hello. Thank you so much for dropping by. This is a response to a comment I got a while back. Do. So the person wrote, I think your advice may be do whatever works for you. Nothing is wrong. But anyway, I want to ask, what should my mind be? What should my mindset be during the tuning in? If I should try to have no thoughts, trying to stop the thinking, avoid the thinking. I'm not experienced with meditation, so that would be difficult for me in the beginning. Or if I should mentally communicate with Bruno, telling him my thoughts, his and wishes, or what happened during the day. I've read somewhere that Bruno told people that in the evening it's good to think of what happened during the day, step by step. I'm not sure whether he meant doing it before or during the tuning in. So there's a little more, but I'll stop there. So do whatever works for you. Nothing is wrong. The first part sounds good. Do what works for you. But nothing is wrong. I don't know that I wasn't trying to communicate that. And while I do believe that I'm utterly convinced, and Bruno's teachings have really helped this to happen, that all things serve the good. That doesn't mean that all things are what's best. So I would say seek out what's best for you. What should be your mindset during tuning in? So it's a very simple question. It's a very deep question, actually. Thank you for asking. So first of all, Bruno said that during tuning in, we should observe our bodies. First of all, giving away the illness, then observe our body. And even if the sensation of pain or discomfort is still there, is to not think of it as pain or discomfort, but to think of it as the body beginning to readjust itself. He said, what's occurring now, I'm paraphrasing here, but what's occurring now no longer has anything to do with the illness. The body is beginning to readjust itself. And also to do this with faith. So I believe that's the fundamental mindset of having faith, of viewing any uncomfortable sensations as healings in progress, as the body readjusting. Should I try to have no thoughts? Well, Bruno Groening also said, and here's another thing he said, that he lives in the present, and that's why he was able to heal so fast. And so that would be, to my knowledge, he never told people to have no thoughts, but he did advise people to be in the present. And so ultimately, each one of us has to find our own way. I struggle with thoughts during tuning in. I think everyone does. So I would say whatever helps you be present. During tuning in, mentally communicating with Bruno, I don't know that that's really tuning in. That's a beautiful thing, and but that's not necessarily what it's a wonderful way to start tuning in, but and it's a wonderful thing to do. But in terms of tuning in is about receiving energy. So that to me feels like a separate practice. And of course, during tuning in, I think the first thing you said is, you said do whatever works for you. It's more like find whatever works for you. And so I don't want to discourage you from that, from communicating with Bruno, but I also want to point out that maybe that's not exactly tuning in. Telling him my thoughts or wishes or what has happened during the day. So again, I think it's a wonderful, amazing practice to communicate with Bruno. and telling him what happened during the day. That's not exactly what he recommended. He recommended people to review what happened during the day at the end of the day. And so it's not so much telling. He said to let the day replay itself before your mind's eye. So let's see. Before or during the tuning in? That's a great question. To my knowledge, Bruno never spoke about that. I do it at the end of the day when I do this practice. And I love that I'm reading this message because I've slouched on this practice the last week or two. I'm normally very dedicated to the nighttime review. I do have the intention to receive the energy while I'm doing it, but for me, it's not exactly pure tuning in. It's, yes, I'm receiving the energy, but because tuning in is observing the body, right? But this is what we're talking about now is the review. It's a very mental practice. So to my mind, they're related. You can kind of tune in while you do it, but not fully. So those are a few of my thoughts. But that's also when my mind starts wandering, thinking about different things. I think having no thoughts, just being concentrated, or sticking with the mental conversation with Bruno would be a better thing here. So what do you think? So yeah, my mind wanders during the mental review. It's not an easy practice, actually. And so again, but I do kind of want to separate the tuning in from the nighttime review. To me, they're different things. And sticking with the mental conversation with Bruno would be better here. Excuse me. I think having no thoughts, just being concentrated, that sounds great. Or sticking with the mental conversation with Bruno would be a better thing here. If that feels right to you, please do it. So what do you think? Well, that's what I think. I think you should follow your heart and ask for guidance and just have this idea that maybe these are 3 different practices you're talking about. Talking to Bruno, tuning in, and nighttime review. And yes, you can have the intention to receive the energy while talking to Bruno. And yes, you can receive the energy while doing the nighttime review, but that's my thought, is to really think about these as 3 separate things that are definitely related, but definitely different. So I hope that was helpful. And now let's do a little tuning in. Thanks for joining in. Love the question. I wish everyone a happy, happy day. Take care.